Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about actually making that communication between you and someone coming through in the spirit world. You've done your work, you've done your homework, you've been practicing, you've been building your clear seeing, hearing, and feeling, and finally it's time to make that communication, right? So you have sat there, you've built up your power, you've expanded your aura, you're ready for that big communication. So now I want you not to get in your head, because if you get in your head, you're going to block someone and the energy from coming through. It happens to the best of us. So while you're sitting there and you're just with a clear mind, no thoughts, and you're just going to send up a thought, who is here? Who is here? Either for the sitter in front of you or for yourself. Who is here? And you will either see, hear, or feel a presence coming next to you, right? And that's the blending part, the blending of a soul to a soul. This is where we start to make the actual communication from yourself to the person coming through. And again, it could be a guide, a loved one, an angel, but you're ready and you're so excited to be doing this. So in a quiet place, just opening up your mind, sitting in the power, again, opening yourself up. That's really what it takes, opening yourself up. You can even do this. Sometimes I do prayers. I always do a prayer before I'm ready to have spiritual communication. That's up to you. It kind of grounds me. And we've already worked with our clear seeing, hearing, and feeling. I like to get the sense that I'm halfway up to the spiritual world because we raise our vibration and they lower theirs. So I like to feel that fuzzy feel around me. I love to see in my third chakra, my third eye opening. I'm always like, okay, I can see my third eye is opening. And then just to be able to hear that someone's there. So we start this communication, and then what happens? Well, that's when we start getting the evidence of who is coming through. And why is evidence important? Well, you want to know who's coming through. Of course you do. And your sitter, if you're giving a reading, they very much want to know, who are you communicating with? So those thoughts begin. Who's coming through? Do you have a name? Is there a relationship? There's things that you can ask the spirit world to give you. When I first started actually doing readings, I would take a paper right here and have it to the side, and I would write down every piece of information that I wished that the spirit communicator coming through would give to me. And I would be very pleasingly surprised in the end that most of the things that I requested actually came through on their own without me having to ask. So that's a little kind of trick of mine that I like to use that I'm sharing with you. So what would I have on there? I would have again, their name, what they looked like. Is this a man? Is this a woman? I asked my communicator to show me a picture of them. So if you're more clairvoyant and you can see better than hear or feel, and all of those will change in time, I have my communicator come in and actually show me a picture, but only if my client sitting in front of me has looked at the picture. So then many times I can tell the color of their hair or what they're wearing, or was this an older picture? What were they doing in it? You can build upon the information. So maybe what were their hobbies while they were here? How many children did they have? Did they have grandchildren? There's just so many things that can come through as evidence for your sitter or for yourself. So why do I say for yourself? Because sometimes guides come through and they give me information that I don't know about that I can Google later. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this validates the information coming through. So that's what evidence does for you. It validates what's coming through. So if your sitter is sitting in front of you and you say, I have a man here, he passed when he was 86 years old, it was a sudden tragic passing, and I give information right away that my sitter's going, yes, that's my dad, yes, that's spot on. And you'll hear that word a lot, spot on. And that means when you're very correct, right? Your dad's telling me he liked to play golf when he was here, and he loved his shoes. He shows me that he loved having a beautiful car. He loved waxing his car when he was here. This is all considered evidence. Your dad had a tattoo on his arm. Oh, he was in the Navy, and there's a picture of, I don't know, an anchor. So when somebody in the spirit world says, mention my tattoo, I'm like, show it to me. Where is the tattoo? What does it look like? What's on there? So be a little nosy to get this evidence. They don't mind. It's like talking. Pretend you're talking to your best friend and you're going to get the best evidence. So once you make sure that your client knows who is coming to give them a message, and they're very much understanding that. So I would have my sitter and I would say her name was Sarah. Sarah, you understand this, this, and this. And if she said yes, 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 then I know that I am ready to deliver a message. So up until this time, I've given information to my sitter. It's from spirit, through spirit, to spirit. I've been giving evidence after evidence that she or he can relate to. Then you can tie it up with the message part. And the message part is probably the most important, really. But if you don't have that evidence, because anybody can say, I love them, I miss them, da-da-da-da. But if you've given the evidence first, your sitter is going to realize that you very much have a connection to their loved one. So you can also ask for different types of evidence as well, like how were they watching over their family? Or you can have it right here. Has there been any celebrations that have happened? You can blend the evidence in with the message. So Sarah's sitting in front of me and her message might be, oh, I love you so much. I'm watching over my granddaughter that's in the crib. I can see that she has a mobile. That's me that she's talking to. I come to you by giving you signs. There's a cardinal that comes to the window. I know that this window is in your kitchen, and I want you to know that my soul stands with your soul as you're watching that cardinal. This is a beautiful message tied in to evidence. So it's very important to get the evidence and then deliver the message. And when so it's kind of a free for all in the end, because I will just send out the thought, what do you want your daughter to know? What do you want your mom to know? What do you want this person to know that has come to me to be able to talk to you? And truthfully, that's when I just open up my clear audience and I listen. I want my mom to know I love her. I want my mom to know this. I just let them speak through me. I don't ask them any more questions. I just let it flow. Bonnie, ask my mom this. Tell her this. Tell her that. I'm just there to be in service to the spirit world. And that's when you're going to get a beautiful message for your sitter. So remember, evidence is important. Remember that if you want some specific things for yourself, some things will mean more to you for evidence than they might to me or another medium. It's okay. Write them down when you start. Just have them to the side. Don't keep looking at them. Let the information come to you. When you're not trying to interview the person in heaven too much and you just let the energy flow, that's when it's at its best. So try that little trick if you want. And then after the reading's done, always remember to thank the person that has come through and worked so unbelievably hard to give you this information. Because remember, they're not coming in to talk to us unless there are people or our guides or masters. But if they're there for the person sitting in front of you, your sitter, your client, they're there because they might think that you're nice, but they're there because they love their person, right? So it's really, if you can just put away your fears and remember that you're doing this work to be of service from the spirit world, it will flow easier. And then when I first started, it was fun, because then I would pick up my paper of evidence that I had on the side, and I'd just kind of go through and check off. I'm getting a lot of this and this and this, and you might add to your list. But either way, evidence is very important if you want to be a credible medium, that somebody can actually take everything that you're saying, or somebody can Google something as well, or even ask another family member. Sometimes that happens too. So keep practicing, get going, ask your friends to come in, get some practice in there. Try not to take money at first until you're very good at what you do, because you don't want that pressure on you. It's so much easier when, it's an agreed upon thing that you're going to give someone a message, but there's not a fee for it at first, at least. It is energy work, so you're going to want to have a fee sooner or later, but to practice, really get good at it. Take your time. And most importantly, the spirit world wants you to have fun as well. When you're lighthearted, the person from spirit comes through lighthearted. And yeah, it's sad sometimes. It's really sad sometimes. So to add a little lightheartedness into the message is a wonderful thing to do. So I'm going to leave you with that part right now. So keep practicing getting your evidence. Good luck.